everybody, welcome back to the Space Blast. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about reusable versus refurbishable versus expendable launch vehicles and the real rockets behind each category. Let's go the old school way with expendable rockets. These rockets are simple. You launch them once, and once they're done with their job, you throw them away forever. Some examples of expendable rockets include NASA's Saturn V rocket. This rocket launched Apollo 11 and many other famous moon missions to the moon. Next up, we have ULA's Atlas V rocket. This rocket is a super reliable workhorse built by the United Launch Alliance. And lastly, we have NASA's SLS rocket. This rocket will launch Artemis 2 on April 1st of this year. Yeah, April Fool's Day. This rocket is also the backbone for the Artemis program. So, what happens with expendable rockets? You see, during stage separation, the first stage separates from the second stage, and after that, the first stage will make its way to the ocean. That's it? Yeah, that's it. And same thing with the second stage. Once it's done with its job, it'll separate from its payload and it'll fall into the ocean, burning up in Earth's atmosphere. During this process, launch companies lose up to 80% of their rocket cost during launch. But there are some advantages. With expendable rockets, it's a very simple design. No need for fancy landing legs because you're not reusing this. And you can carry heavier payloads to space since you don't have to spare extra fuel to bring the rocket back to Earth. But it's still very expensive. Now comes the game changer. Reusable rockets. Unlike expendable rockets, these rockets don't fall into the ocean. Instead, they come back to Earth where they'll be reused and fly again and again and again. Some examples of reusable rockets include the Falcon 9 rocket, the world's first orbital-class rocket to be reused. Next up, we have the Falcon Heavy rocket, built by SpaceX again, and this rocket is basically 3 Falcon 9 boosters strapped together to one mega rocket. And lastly, we have New Glenn, which will prove if it's reusable on its third ever mission to space. For those who don't know, New Glenn has flown 2 missions so far, and on its second ever mission, it landed the first stage booster for the first time. And now we'll see if Blue Origin can reuse that booster. But wait, there's more. In the future, we will see Starship, the world's first fully reusable rocket. And you guessed it, it was also built by SpaceX. And here's a mind-blowing fact. Did you know that SpaceX has flown a Falcon 9 booster 33 times in just 5 years? And compare that to the Space Shuttle Discovery, which has flown the most missions, flying 39 missions in its Space Shuttle program. That was over a 30-year lifespan. Nothing compared to SpaceX. So, what's the big deal about reusability? You see, with reusability, you save up to 80% of the launch cost, you have a faster launch cadence, and you can launch more missions. And, you guessed it, SpaceX was the first company to ever start reusing rockets. Man, they're really bringing up their A game. Here comes the middle ground. Refurbishable rockets. These rockets can be reusable, but only after extensive repair and rebuilding. Here's an example, the Space Shuttle. And before you move on, if you haven't already, please check out my video about the Space Shuttle titled How NASA Built the World's First Reusable Spacecraft. And now, I'm going to prove you why that's more of a refurbishable rocket than a reusable rocket. Done? Okay, let's move on. Doesn't the Space Shuttle sound quite reusable? Well, not exactly. Once the space shuttle went into space and came back to Earth, 6 million parts had to be inspected, 24,000 heat tiles had to be checked one by one, and engines had to be removed and replaced. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, there's more. And this entire process lasted about 125 days, and the cost per launch was around $766 million. Compare that to SpaceX, who only charged $67 million per launch. And yes, I know I said the forbidden number, but we left that in 2025. So let's move on. That's not quick reuse. That's basically rebuilding the rocket every single time after launch. Here's why modern reuse always wins. You see, back then, the old system was to rebuild everything from scratch, but now, all you need is some minimal fixes and you're good to go. Here's an example. SpaceX has a Falcon 9 booster with a rapid turnaround time of just 9 days. And compare that with Vulcan Centaur. That rocket has a turnaround time of months. But that's nothing compared to NASA's Space Launch System, which has a turnaround time of 2 years, and that clock's still going on until Artemis 2 launches. But ultimately, here's the bigger picture. Reusability isn't just cheaper, it changes everything. Because of reusability, launch companies throw less waste into the ocean. Not only that, they have a faster launch cadence and they can launch more satellites. All that for very little money. But here's the thing. Do airlines throw away airplanes after every single flight? Not really, right? Well, rockets are headed the same way too. So now, there's only one question left to be answered. When rockets become as reusable as airplanes, will space still be exclusive to astronauts, or will it be open to tourists? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you support more content like this, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and smash that notification bell to receive daily updates on future content that I post. Thank you so much for joining the Space Blast. You rock! Until then, see you on the next mission.
Ha 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 ha!